And we're live. Good morning, Dragonlings. It is December something 30th, I believe.
Yep.
There we go. No, video is working. Okay, I can lower that. All right. For those who are new to my channel, I am Skye. I write urban fantasy under the name SD Haggis, and today we're going to be doing a live stream about goals. We do bi-monthly goals. We're going to be talking about the goals we accomplished or did not accomplish in November and December, and goals that we plan to do in January, February. But before we get started, I'm going to let my guest introduce herself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Amy Nobody. I'm a freelance writer getting my SEO certification, and I'm working on my first ever fiction work. I've been friends with Skye since high school, and once I decided to finally sit down and start working on my first fiction project, my book, she's been helping me out, walking me along, and I started joining these live streams for the NaNoWriMo write-ins and the bi-monthly goals. So I don't have any published works to share or any social media to share because I don't use it. So yet. Yeah. Yeah. That's a whole nother live stream. So anyways, that's why I'm joining Skye today. I've joined her for maybe the last 3 bi-monthly goals, along with Virginia Jennings, who couldn't join us today because she's got work stuff and family stuff happening.
Mm-hmm.
And
life happens even when you're live.
Yeah, Virginia is out accomplishing her goals. That's why she can't join us to talk about her goals.
She is. She got the dream job, and she's living the dream, basically.
Yeah. So congratulations, Virginia, when you watch this back. Yeah, that's all I have to say, really. Because I don't have anything to promote because I don't do stuff. I realized the other day that this is actually not my first fiction project.
Oh.
Those screenplays. I finished 6 screenplays for a TV show. And I never sent them out or anything. So I guess I forget that I actually have completed a fiction project. But this is my first ever, what I consider to be a fiction project, because I'm writing a book. So I think that's how I glitched it in my brain.
I was going to say, I always consider screenplays a separate entity.
Do you?
Yeah.
I still consider it fiction because it's not expository like 90% of my work history.
True story. I don't know. What are blah, 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 blah. I cannot talk. What do our viewers think? If you're watching this, what do you think about screenplays? Are they counted as fiction, or are they counted as something separate? I'm just curious what everyone, because honestly, I always forget about screenplays. I realize people have to write the movies and TV shows I watch, but it still just doesn't click that they have to be written sometimes. I don't.
Yeah, you do not enjoy screenplays either. I know it was difficult for you to make it through the one that I sent you, and I have 5 more that I wanted to send you. But I was like, well, it took her 7 months to read the first one, and you're working so hard on your damned and dangerous stuff. I didn't want to give you another difficult project to try to accomplish.
The worst part was when I finally actually sat down and did it. It really took me less than 2 days to do. It was just getting me to sit down and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Button chair shit. Button chair.
Yeah.
All right. Excuse me. Sorry about that. So, goals for November, December. If you've been following this channel for a while, we have done several streams of bi-monthly goals. We usually do them at the end of the month, of the second month, just like we're doing today. And the reason we got started doing this is I have always done monthly goals for the longest time, but those were becoming too tedious for me. It was just too much of a hassle to be doing videos. This was before I was doing live streams, but I was doing videos once a month about goals, but half the time I wasn't accomplishing those goals, and it was just really irritating. to me. So I switched to quarterly goals thanks to watching Jenna Marassi's channel, who does quarterly goals, and that was just too much time in between. So I saw Tamara and Amy Tasakata did bi-monthly goals live streams, and I was like, that's it. That's what we're going to try next. Is we're going to try bi-monthly goals, and I invited 3 other ladies to join me on my bi-monthly goal journey. Virginia and Amy were the first 2 to join me, and that's basically how this bi-monthly goal live stream was birthed into the world. Amy and Tamara are no longer doing their bi-monthly live streams. I believe they still talk back and forth about their goals, but they're no longer doing their live streams due to personal reasons on both ends. But it is thanks to them that I have started doing the goals live streams myself. So thank you, ladies. You're awesome. I got stuff stuck in my throat. It's going to be a weird day. Like always.
I think we're good at weird, though.
We are good at weird. I'm always weird. So there's that.
I know I'm always weird, but I think I do an okay job of hiding it in most contexts. Like, if I just keep my mouth shut, I seem pretty normal.
I can't. I mean, if you look at my interest alone, I'm wearing a Cthulhu dress. That's not normal. It's not. So, and I love this dress. Just saying.
Okay, so how did you finish on your November, December goals?
You know, that's a very good question. I have them right in front of me in my bullet journal. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I had 14 goals, a lot less than most times, but I'm trying to keep my goals short from now on. And I accomplished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I accomplished 7 of them. So I accomplished about half. And actually, one of them I crossed out completely because very shortly after we finished our last live stream, I knew that was just not going to happen. So I marked it out because I knew it wasn't going to happen. Hello, child. Go away. Go away, rude child. Graceland. Go to your room. You too. Go to your room. Go, go. And for me, accomplishing my goals means I get I have to get 75% of the goals I have listed completed. And this year I only got about half, or this time I only got about half of them. With that one crossed out, I got exactly half of them done, basically. I had the ones I have listed. I wanted to accomplish NaNoWriMo. I wanted to participate in NaNoWriMo, which I did. I wanted to go to Las Vegas for the 20 Books Vegas 2018 conference, which I did.
Woo-hoo!
Yay! That's still one of the biggest highlights of my year, honestly.
Yeah.
Because it was so much fun and I learned so much that I'm still trying to wrap my brain around half of what I've learned.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm still making my way through the YouTube list that you posted with the videos.
And I'm probably going to rewatch half those videos. There is so much information given out in just those videos. And then they had other sessions and conferences and stuff like that were not filmed in other rooms going on as well. Mm-hmm. That I wish someone had filmed because they were just as good and had just as much good information.
Yeah, that kind of seems like an oversight, in my opinion. Unless you were deliberately not posting some of this content to YouTube, then it seems like an oversight that you didn't post all of it to YouTube.
Yeah, most of it was the fact that the room that the main conference stuff was in was already set up for filming. Mm-hmm. And the other conference rooms were a lot smaller and not set up for filming. They're going to have to do there's professional equipment in the room that they were in this year. because they do other live shows and other streams and other conferences in there. Whereas the other side rooms that were being used are not used for those purposes. They're used for like meetings that are not meant to be filmed.
Yeah.
So when they do stuff in there, they are going to be filming. They've already mentioned up top they're going to be filming the other conference stuff next year. So they're going to have to set up like tripods and stuff and make sure no one bumps it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be it's going to be interesting to see how they accomplish it, honestly. But
I look forward to it.
I do too. I'm going next year too.
I was about to say, are you already planning ahead to
Yes, I am.
get your stuff together?
Oh, yeah. I've got the email marked so I'm on the newsletter list. So when the tickets go live, I can go ahead and purchase a ticket.
Woohoo!
Yeah. Okay. Other goals. I want to edit Hunter's Betrayal. Didn't happen. And actually, that leads into the one I crossed out. I wanted to rewrite Warren's Rage. Those are the first 2 books in my... actually, it's book 1 and 3 now that I've renumbered everything again. Of my Shifters and Mages series. And I marked out Rewrite Warren's Rage because Hunter's Betrayal did not... I knew Hunter's Betrayal wasn't going to get finished because shortly after making the last goals video, while working on Hunter's Betrayal, I hit burnout so hard it's not even funny. Like, I just did not even want to look at any of the Shifters and Mages books, like, at all. Yeah. And I'm still in that mode. I do not, just thinking about even opening the document that those novels are sickens me. I don't even want to open the documents.
Are you still that burnt out?
I am still that burnt out. And that sucks. Because I want to get this series finished and done. I want to get it done, damn it. I'm going to have to take a hard look at that series come the new year, but that can wait for right now. But because that Hunter's Betrayal did not get edited, and I already marked off Rewrite Warren's Rage because I knew it wasn't going to happen. Next goal was to write Damned and Dangerous. I have not accomplished this yet, so I have not marked it out. I was hoping to have it done by now.
You're very close, though, right?
I am very close. I only have 1.5 chapters left to write. And I have really no excuses. I could have finished it by now. I started playing a video game the other day that I shouldn't have. It was very bad for me.
The one that you had been avoiding playing since after Nano so that you wouldn't do exactly what you did?
No, actually, I still have not played that one. So originally I was telling myself I could not play Spyro until after I beat NaNoWriMo. Right. I still have not played Spyro. No, EA which is a gaming company, had a deal going on for Sims 4, and I learned that it would actually play on my computer. I've learned it would play on Mac Mardigan, which is my new Mac, for those who don't know. It's new to me. It's like 10 years old. Just saying. Yeah, that was a mistake.
Oh, yeah?
I bought it for $5, so I'm not going to complain. But when I should have been writing, I was playing Sims. Just learning how it works. So, because I recently
got my hands on Netflix.
Ah, yes.
And that has been absorbing quite a bit of my time.
Yeah.
I am a TV fiend. Like, I love TV. My screenplays are for a TV show. TV is my favorite medium, and my dream job would be to be a TV writer. I love TV.
There you go.
And so the acquisition of Netflix.
We need to get your screenplays up and running because Netflix does accept unsolicited scripts.
Oh, God.
You could do some Netflix original TV shows.
That would blow my fucking mind.
Goals. Hashtag goals.
Hashtag goals. So, yeah. That was what stumped me. And then I didn't do so great on some of my goals that were completely not my fault. And then a couple of them were my fault because I was pissed off about the ones that weren't my fault. So I just had to take a break from everything for like 4 days.
Yeah.
I did nothing but watch TV.
I know the feeling. I wrote video games. I will finish Damned and Dangerous. That one will be marked off by the end of December 31st. It might be like midnight, and I'm finishing on midnight of the new year. But I will get that one accomplished. So that one will get marked off. I am determined to finish it.
You technically still have like 36 hours to write a chapter and a half.
I do. And I have plans for the rest of today. And I have plans for most of tomorrow, which is going to eat at that. But I've only got 5,000 words left to write. And I've been doing that in like 2.5 hours. So it really will not take me that long to finish that goal. So I will get it accomplished. I am determined to get it accomplished.
It does sound like one that's going to sneak up on you, though, if you don't set aside time to work on it.
It is. It will. I know when I'm going to work on it, honestly. I'm going to work on it tomorrow evening, right after the girls are in bed, after my husband goes to work. And same thing tonight. I will work on it a little bit tonight after my husband goes to work and we're back in home and settled down. I have a friend visiting from out of town. We've been friends since we were 14. And I completely spaced. I did a whole lot of planning, which is something I never do, of activities I wanted to do this weekend, thinking that they were different weekends. And I was like, we'll just do this. We'll just do this. And this was her coming up. We were supposed to spend 2 days together. She came up last night. She's going to spend the night tonight as well. And the whole plan was I planned her coming up when I got back from Vegas in November.
Oh.
And then completely spaced it.
Double booked your weekend, it sounds like.
I did, and I feel so bad about it. And then I was just like, we could just do all these things together. And I'm like, no, maybe these people won't like each other. That won't work. This might work. I'll ask. What's the worst I can say? No? Yeah. So I did.
Yeah.
It's worked out. Plans have just been rearranged, that's all.
Yeah.
This is why I don't make plans, though, because I do this shit all the time. This is what happens when I make plans.
You get carried away?
I get carried away and do too much at once.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, other goals. Let's see how fast I can get through these. Because of everything that went on with Damned and Dangerous, there was another goal dealing with that didn't get done. For those who don't know, Damned and Dangerous has been the book I've been working on for the past 3 months. It's not very long. Originally I was aiming for 50K, changed it to 60K when I wrote my newest outline that I'm working on now. Story coming up there. And then dropped it back down to 50K, which is where I wanted it. I wanted this book to be about 50K. From originally, I wanted each of these 3 books to be about 50K because I like shorter, quick reads, basically. And I like writing shorter, quick reads. Screw it, I do. I like them.
I like long reads. I like long books that really get you into it and all that stuff. And I'm realizing that's what I'm writing.
Yeah, that's what you're writing.
Yeah,
I like the quick reads because I get through them faster. And I can go on to the next one.
Yeah. I didn't even realize that's what I was doing. But I as I'm going through this project, we've talked in previous streams about the fact that I'm a plotter.
Yeah.
My final outline is basically a rough draft. You had to convince me of that the other day when I was being all pouty because I realized that I wasn't going to meet one of my main 2 goals of finishing my rough draft by the end of the year. And there at a certain point I knew there was just absolutely no way I could do it because of the holidays. People going places, shopping, Christmas Day, you're not going to write anything.
I did
stuff like that. Well, good for you because I wanted to so bad and I did not.
And then I played video games the rest of the day. I wrote just enough to meet my word count, and then I played video games the rest of the day.
Like a professional.
I am awesome that way.
Yeah. Through the course of working on that, like once you convinced me of that, I felt a little bit better. I felt like I was much further along in the project because it does. I mean, you've seen my outline. It basically is a rough draft. It is. I don't have any purple prose. Everything is bullets and activities. Nothing is fancy words and long sentences.
But if you wrote out if you took what you actually have as a rough draft, or not rough draft, as an outline, and just made them complete sentences and put them in whatever document you're using for your story, that is basically a rough draft.
Yeah, we were talking about that. I agree.
Bullet points are very short. Someone gets shot, kind of thing,
like that.
and with turn them into the rough draft. Basically, all you would have to do is insert name, gets shot, period.
Yeah.
What the hell, kid? You handed me a cat. I don't need him or want him right now. No, go to your room. You're being a brat. I don't like it. Go away.
So, anyways, through the course of working on it, I've realized that my plotting and my outlining really is paying off. I'm like 3/4 of the way done with it, and I've only found 3 plot holes, like plot bunnies, that I came to it and all of a sudden I was like, I don't know what to do with that. And because I had planned so much, they were really easy to fix. And I don't think I'm going to run into another one for this last quarter of the book.
Okay.
So I'm feeling really good about the progress that I made, even though I didn't get to the end.
Okay.
And yeah, that's one of my goals. So I forgot why I even started talking about that.
We were talking about accomplishing things that didn't work out the way we wanted to. Let them go.
Yeah, and I had to let go of that one.
Yeah. So, but because of everything that was going on with Damned and Dangerous, it was a project I started in October, wanted to complete in October, didn't get it done in October, so I was like, I'll finish it the first half of November. Got about halfway through November and realized that I had gone completely off my outline. I was going in a direction I didn't want the story going, and I was like, screw it. I rewrote my outline and started over, and I was like, I'll finish it by the end of November. End of November comes. I have once again gone away from my outline. I hated where the story was going, and I was like, this is not working. Let's relook at the outline and try again. So my original plan, it wasn't quite the end of November. I had like 4 days left of NaNoWriMo. I'd already completed NaNoWriMo with other projects. And my plan was to take the last few days off of writing and then come back to it with a fresh eyes in December. That didn't happen. The same day I rewrote my outline almost all the way in a way I actually liked, that was good, that worked with the story, and I started writing. So then my goal was to finish, originally my goal was to take 15 days and finish the first draft of Damned and Dangerous. And now here we are at the end of December and I still haven't finished that draft. But I've only got a chapter and a half left and I love the story. So that's a plus.
Yeah.
Try number 3 was the what did it for me.
Yeah, third time's the charm.
Third time's the charm, apparently. But because I didn't accomplish it when I wanted to accomplish it, Damned and Deadly didn't get written either, which was one of my other goals.
Mm-hmm. I almost bought you that mug, by the way. I saw it in Walmart, and I was like, oh, Skye would love this. But I saw it on, like, Christmas Eve, and I was like, no, somebody else has bought this for her by now. Yep, so I didn't get it.
This was my gift from the girls and Justin.
Yeah, it's adorable.
And it comes with a hand cream, which I'm hoping will help me with my hands because I have really, really bad cuticles. I don't bite my nails, but I do tear them off. And then I tear the skin around my hands up really, really bad. Like, this one's actually finally healed, but this one was a bloody mess just less than a day ago. From where I stripped the skin off from around it, and it was just raw and red and nasty, and I'm going to stop talking about that now.
Before we get off the subject, though, you might want to try almond oil, because I have noticed something about almond oil, and I don't know if it's just my skin or if this is one of the things that makes almond oil such a beauty staple. Okay. But almond oil soaks into the healthy skin, but not the dead skin. Like, I still have acne as an adult. So when I put on my makeup sometimes, you know, the dried skin around a pimple that got popped or just one that dried up, you know, or something like that. The almond oil will soak past the dead skin and I can see it and cleanse my face and wash off the dead skin. It kind of like shows it off. But more importantly than that, it soaks into the healthy skin underneath it and you don't see it. So that's what I use on my cuticles because cuticles are pretty much dead skin. That's why they rip so easily. Yeah. But, I would give it a shot if I were you. And it's really good for, I use it to take off my makeup. Okay. So,
makeup I don't wear.
Yeah. But it even gets waterproof mascara off for me.
Ooh. But that's always nice. Because every once in a while I do wear makeup. I just I don't wear makeup a lot of times because I have really sensitive skin, and I have not found a brand yet that doesn't make me break out, actually. I've tried multiple, and the worst ones are the ones that everyone's like, you should try this. It's organic. It's nothing. It's minerals. I was like, what do you think makes my skin break out? And eyeshadow, I can't do it all.
Yeah.
Within less than 5 minutes, I have rubbed that shit off just from itching.
Oh, that sucks.
So there's no point in me ever putting eyeshadow on. So I wear mascara, I wear eyeliner, and I wear lip gloss. I don't even wear lipstick. It's too sticky.
I love mascara. It's one of my beauty staples. Like if I put on nothing, but if I could only put on one thing, it would be mascara. But my eyes are also sensitive.
Yeah.
So I have to get kind of like not super expensive mascara, not that like $45 for one tube from Chanel or whatever. But I do have to get, I don't even know what to call it. But you know, a lot of the mascaras now have those like plumpers built in. And they were talking about that one that came out a couple of years ago where they were like, it has these spirals built into the mascara formula. And when you apply it, they line up with your lashes and they help to extend it. And I was like, I'm not even going near that because it's going to make my eyes fall out. I just know it. Part of the reason that I wear waterproof mascara is because it'll just stay. It just stays better. But I do have to I can't use super cheap mascara. Otherwise, waterproof or not, it'll bother me. I seem to have pretty good luck with L'Oreal though.
Okay.
So
I don't think I've tried L'Oreal mascara, but I have. It's super cheap, honestly, because I can find it at Dollar Tree. But Wet n Wild has been what's worked best for me as far as mascara goes. And I have found it at Dollar Tree, honestly, but I haven't had a problem with it. So
Wet n Wild and Rimmel don't work for me.
Yeah, cheap does not bother me. It's whatever is in the product itself.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And I'm pretty certain that it's something about the minerals. That's why the eyeshadow bothers me so much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know which ones, but it's something about them.
If it bothers you with so many problems, it's probably something like talc powder that's in most cosmetics.
And that's probably it. Because, again, with most makeup products, my skin actually breaks out worse. I have acne problems too, so I will definitely be giving almond oil a try. And I find that the more I stress, and I stress mostly financially. Let's face it, that's where most of my stress is financial stuff.
Hashtag like a grown-up.
Hashtag like a grown-up. So, and when I stress, I just break out everywhere. So, yeah, there's that. And going back towards goals, speaking of financial stress, two of the things that were on my goals list that I did not accomplish is I wanted to get my credit cards paid off. I'm almost there. Haven't quite reached it. Did not accomplish that. And I wanted to, I wrote down finances. I'm not exactly certain what I was planning on doing with my finances, whether I wanted to tighten up my budget or start budgeting, something I really don't do anymore that I used to do back in high school. Ugh. Why was I more of an adult in high school than I am now as an adult?
I have a theory that there are some people that when they have kids, they like part of them kind of reverts back to being a kid in like a weird, not immature way. But like, you know, as you're raising kids, you tend to do more kid-like stuff like be impulsive and go play for a couple of hours instead of sitting down with your checkbook. It's just part of being a parent and raising your child, I think. I think it happens naturally.
You know what? I'll go with that theory because it sounds exactly right. We're going to just go with it. I don't care if it's true or not. Canon.
Hashtag canon or bust.
Let's see. Most of these other goals I did accomplish. I wanted to revise my business plan. I did a rough revise, so I did mark this off as complete. I have not actually sat down and really put much detail into my new business plan.
You did get a professional consultation, though, from that guy in Vegas, so I think that totally counts.
And I did, and that was where the revise my business plan came in. Based on the emails we'd been sending back and forth, I already knew I was going to have to revise it. And after my meeting with him, I did revise it in rough draft form. I just haven't put any real detail into that, which is something I plan to do but haven't gotten to yet. I wanted to organize my computer files. I did that. They are now on my external hard drive. I have not switched them to Mac Mardigan, mostly because I'm not certain how much space is on Mac Mardigan. So probably what I'll do is, instead of transferring my files to Mac Mardigan, I will transfer most of them to OneDrive or something like that, a cloud storage system.
Yeah.
Just so I have them in 2 different places. And also, a lot of my files and stuff, especially like my novels, I send back and forth from my email. So I've got backup copies of them anyway. It's mostly my pictures and my videos that I'm worried about.
Mm-hmm.
I want them somewhere else as well.
Yeah.
I wanted to read 8 books, and at least 2 of them had to be nonfiction. I accomplished this. In fact, I've read a lot more than 8 books because I've read 3 on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. No, that's not right. What day is it today? Thursday and Friday this week, I read 3.
Cool.
So definitely got that accomplished. I wanted to do at least 5 Sunday live streams, which I think today makes 6 or 7. So that's been accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
And I finished your screenplay before November even started, because I finished that October 31st.
You did
October
finish
30th.
that just 2 or 3 days after the live stream. I got the email.
I did, yeah. So that was the first thing I marked off for this year, for this goal set. So that was awesome. And then the last one that I did not accomplish is I wanted to post at least 5 YouTube videos. And because I switched computers and I'm still figuring out the program I'm still figuring out iMovie. Let's face it, I haven't even started figuring out iMovie. I just haven't. Been distracted by other things. So that one did not get accomplished because I have lots of videos I have filmed but haven't edited. Yay! And for that goal, I was not counting live streams. This is where I sat down, edited a video, and then post it.
Yeah.
I got 3, and I wanted at least 5.
Mm-hmm.
So that one did not get accomplished.
I have to step away from the computer for 10 seconds. I've got to go harass a chicken. I'll be right back.
Go harass a chicken.
Now, go ahead and explain my chicken situation.
She has chickens.
I'm just kidding.
They like to be buttheads to each other. She has male roosters that like to harass the rest of the chickens. Hi, Amy Tasakata. We actually were talking about you earlier. Because I mentioned that the reason I started doing these live streams is because you and Tamara were doing your bi-monthly goal live streams. And I took inspiration from that when monthly and then quarterly goals were not working for me. And I had a couple other friends who wanted to start doing goal stuff. And I was like, join me on my live stream. So we were talking about you earlier. And I have your channel listed below.
Okay.
Chicken Crust is Subverted?
Yeah, he knew. It's that asshole rooster I'm telling you about who's going to get chopped any day now. And he was over there picking on my little silky hen again. And he saw me coming and he took off.
He was like, oh shit, she saw me.
Yeah, he knew. His days are numbered, that little shit. We recently got 2 Americana roosters. Real, legit Americana roosters. I don't know how many people out there listening are chicken people, but there's a thing in the chicken world where everybody thinks Americana chickens lay green eggs. And they do. But actually, it's Easter eggers that lay green eggs, and true Americanas lay much bluer eggs.
Yes.
And but because the blue and the green are such close colors over the years, people think that they're the same chicken. And Easter eggers and Americanas are technically not the exact same chicken. They just might as well be. So if you're not a chicken person, you'd probably have no idea that there's actually a distinction between the 2. And we were lucky enough to get our hands on 2 real Americana roosters. And so they're still in quarantine. We've got a special cage that we use for quarantine and socializing where all the chickens in the yard can come over and see them and they can meet each other before we ever let a new chicken out. And now that there are 2 new roosters, Shitmo is what I call him. He's a Shamo rooster. And I can't stand him, so I call him Shitmo.
His days are numbered.
He knows. I think he knows. And so he is making an extra stink out in the yard now that there's these 2 new roosters. And I'm like, you think you're doing something, but all you're doing is proving why replacing you is a good idea. So I hate to be so calloused, but he's a little jerk. And he was hand raised and everything. Sometimes roosters are just not people persons. It's that simple. And we try not to keep any aggressive ones like that. And we don't have a lot of kids come and go around here, but on the occasion that they do, we make sure that we never have any aggressive animals at all. You know, if they're aggressive to us, they'll be aggressive to strangers. They've got to go. So that's kind of our hard, fast rule with roosters. Once they start getting aggressive to us, they've got to go. And Shitmo has made the mistake of attacking on multiple occasions. And so I'm like, dude, I'm really sorry to do this, but you got to go, man. So, yeah, it's just part of being it's one of those tough decisions as part of being like a good, I don't know, some people call it being a good steward to your animals. You know, being responsible when you're in a farm situation means making the tough decision that little Shitmo's got to go. He's disrupting the whole yard. So,
shame on him.
Yeah. So, yeah, anyways, chicken crisis averted. He saw me coming and just took the fuck off. He knew he was in trouble. I'm like, that's right, you better run. And I can't catch him either. That's the funny thing. Like, I've never hit this rooster or nothing because I can't catch him. I did one time. He got distracted. He was pinning down one of our tiny little bantam hens in the corner, and I snatched him up by his tail and flung him away. And that's the closest I've ever got to touching him. Once he was hand raised, but once he went out in the yard, he was so happy to be a rooster, he wanted nothing to do with us, which was fine until he started attacking us. But now he's so ninja, I can't catch him. So it's just a matter of me threatening him by walking in his direction across the yard. And he's all dramatic and takes off like I've whacked him with a shovel or something, which I've never done because I can't get near him.
Ninja rooster.
Yeah, right? He's all black, too. He totally looks like a ninja rooster. He's tall and skinny. Shamo chickens are one of the ones that stand upright really tall. Like, he's very tall. Yes, very tall, very skinny. And all black and very ninja. And very days are limited. So...
I love the chicken emergencies that always happen on this channel. I honestly do.
I know. We've talked about this before.
Every single time there's at least one.
Yes. And remember the first time I came over to your house to do a live stream at your house?
Yeah.
A hawk landed on the front porch. And I was like, look at this. Look at this. Even when I'm in your home, my nature is still following me and interrupting your live stream.
So
look at this shit.
That hawk is still around, by the way.
Yeah, I've seen him the last couple times.
We had D&D last night, and when my sister and my brother-in-law pulled into the driveway, she was like, she called me outside, and she pointed to the house across the road, and she was like, that hawk was just on your house. Like, he was on my roof.
Uh-huh.
And he was sitting on the rooftop on the house across the road.
Yeah.
So... I think it's awesome that he sticks around, honestly.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing because he's going to attack animals that are around here, but it's still awesome.
Yeah, if he's hanging out there that much, there's something there that he's eating.
Yeah, there's
probably field mice or something. You're kind of close to some farmland.
There's a field right behind my house, honestly. Like if I open this window, you'll see the tree line. The field is literally right there, right past the tree line.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times when I think someone's mowing our yard, it's the tractor in the field.
Yeah. So he's probably picking up the field mice that are...
And bopping them on the head.
Yep. For all of our younger PG listeners, bopping them on the head, sure. So anyways, yes, chicken crisis averted again. I knew it was going to happen, too. That's why I was like, don't even try to apologize. Just go handle it.
So Amy Tasakata has joined us, and I was telling her about the fact that part of the reason we do these monthly goals is because of her and Amy. And she's like, the added guilt helps. And I'm like, I'm not trying to guilt you. It's not a problem. I just love the fact that I love giving credit to the people who helped me do this because this is actually what's working for me. Monthly goals was not working. Quarterly goals was not working. But bi-monthly goals is because this is the first time I believe I have not met my goals.
I think so. I know you did last time. You stomped it last time.
I think so. Because I don't know, I'd have to pull out my other bullet journal that's over there. But I think the last 2 times, because this is only the 4th live stream we've done with goals, and the first one was setting up goals, not recapping any goals.
Yeah.
So that means this is only the 3rd time we've actually talked about whether or not we've accomplished our goals. And I believe the first 2 times I got my ideal success for the goals is to get 75% done. And I'm pretty certain the first 2 times I did. And I don't know what I did with my phone, so I can't calculate. I cannot calculate. Where is my phone? I can't calculate what the percentage of these goals I've accomplished. I'll put it down in the description below when I figure it out, I guess. I don't know where my phone is. And because I keep sending the children away.
You want me to ping you so you can hear it?
It won't matter. It's on vibrate.
Okay.
For those who don't know, who don't watch my channel, I keep my phone on vibrate 24/7 now. I don't think I ever have it on Noisemaker anymore. It's just easier for my life most of the time. The only time it's not easier is when I lose my phone, like today. I'm pretty certain it's in my room.
You just have to call it and listen really closely.
Shh, quiet. We're hunting rabbits.
I know, right?
All right, so goals. Going back to goals. What were your goals and what did you accomplish and what did you not accomplish? Because you had your split between main goals and secondary goals. And we're going to have a little heated discussion here because I know one of these goals. I already know.
A heated discussion is, I would use the term bitch fest because I'm still upset about one of them.
I know.
Okay. I had one of my main goals that I've already touched on was to finish my rough draft. That was actually a secondary goal, but it became a primary goal towards about the middle of about early November when I realized that I would not be able to accomplish one of my primary goals, which was to finish my SEO certification. I've only got 1 course left, and I'm not sure if it was my oversight. I would like to blame it on weird wording on the website that I did not catch, but the course 6 does not run on the same session schedule as courses 1 through 5. They only have sessions once every like 3 months, I think I calculated it. And every 6 weeks, I think it is. Not 3 months. I think it's every 6 weeks. No, whatever. It doesn't matter. I got so upset, I didn't even bother to figure out all the details. But it turns out that the next session was not starting until January 21st. And I was upset. So then I went in and I did more research to figure out how the hell did I miss this? And then I figured out the thing that upset me so much that I'm going to bitch about now. Part of getting the, part of taking the courses is that you have peer graded assignments. It's been on all 5 courses, part of, just giving you assignments that you're accountable for, that you actually have to do work for part of getting the certification, which I am okay with. But I vehemently hate peer graded assignments. I hate peer graded assignments. These people know just as little as me. Why the hell do they get to grade my work? I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. So I've hated this since high school. I don't know if I've complained about it in the past or not, but I have always hated peer graded assignments. So when I found out that part of passing each one of these courses involved a peer graded assignment, I was not happy. But one of the perks about this program, and by the way, it's the SEO certification on coursera.org. They're hosting the program for UC Davis. Technically, my certification is coming from UC Davis. I'm just earning it through Coursera, which is kind of like the community where you got your peers and you're doing your work and all that kind of stuff. They're kind of hosting the program, but Coursera is awesome. They've got a ton of programs about all kinds of stuff. I absolutely love them, despite my rage against this situation. So It sucks that you have to get a peer graded assignment, but there's like no time limit to when you finish these courses. That's part of what I love about it so much, is there's absolutely no time limit deadlines. The only thing that's even vaguely a time limit is that if you pay to get your certification before you to get the course certificate before you finish the course, and or if you get financial aid, you have 6 months to use that before either you have to apply for financial aid again, or your money will be refunded to you because you did not finish the course. That's the closest thing to a deadline they have. So if you're late on your work, there's 0 penalties on your part. And I discovered one perk that, despite having to have peer graded assignments, if you're unhappy with your grade, you can just resubmit and try again and to get your grade. And I've gotten 100s on everything because on 2 assignments in 2 separate courses, I was not happy with my grade. And both of them were bullshit, by the way. I put a lot of effort into them. And one person, I'm pretty sure, was just spiteful and gave me a bad grade because they did a shit assignment and they got a bad grade from me. And there was one that I had to do recently, and I don't want to take up too much time talking about my coursework because I could rant about this for hours. But this was actually, yeah, that second scenario is the reason that I missed out. Ultimately, what I'm building up to trying to explain in my back-assward way is I finished course 5 12 days late. I actually submitted my final assignment for course 5 4 days before the deadline. But because my peers would not grade my work, I don't know. I don't think they were ignoring me on purpose because the site doesn't really work that way. And I don't think I've been such a stickler with grades. Like, I don't recognize people's names and stuff like that. So, I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. There's a lot of people who don't speak English. So I always give them, the benefit of the doubt. Oh, that's what you were trying to do. Sure. Well, I'm pretty sure this one guy knew that I had graded his paper. And for this assignment, we were supposed to do SEO work for 4 apps on the App Store. And we were supposed to pick a not performing so well app, do the SEO for it, and then compare it to 3 actually performing well apps. Well, he picked one Google app, which is almost by default the best performing app in its niche or whatever it's called. And he did like a tiny bit of SEO for that. And then that was it. That was his whole assignment. I'm like, dude, you didn't do the assignment at all. So I couldn't give him a good grade. You know what I mean? I couldn't. I wanted to, but he didn't even do the assignment. And I'm pretty sure that he gave me a bad grade just because he got a bad grade from me. So that's my personal drama. That's one of the things that I hate about peer grading too. I hate it. I hate it so much. And but anyways,
tell me how you really feel.
Oh God. He graded my assignment, and then it was, you have to have 2 peer gradeds. And that's what makes me think, because I noticed I had a similar problem in course 4. I don't think my peers were deliberately ignoring me. I think when I submitted early, I submitted so early that my paper actually went to the session before the one that I was in, because I'm finishing these courses like a week, 10 days ahead of time. So I don't think it's my peer's fault. I think it's a glitch in the system. But okay, he did manage to grade my work and give me a shitty grade. So anyways, long story short, to wrap it up and stop ranting about my own bullshit, I submitted that work 4 days ahead of deadline. Only one person gave me a grade, and it was a bad grade that I wasn't happy with. So, and then you have 3 days after the deadline for everybody to get reacquainted. So 7 days after I submit this, that's when they give me my grade, and it's not a good grade. And I'm like, oh, hell no. I spent 4 days working on that project. I know it's good. And then I see my grade. So, and that was my final grade for the course. And I'm like, no. So I resubmitted. But then I was in the middle of a different session. So I had to wait 5 more days for 2 more people to finish their work and catch up to me. So I ended up having to wait 12 days And then when I was going back and trying to figure out this whole session thing, is there any way that I could get to, finish this at the end of the year? Because I did not know. They didn't show you the stuff for course 6 because you don't get to see all the details. And I'm pretty sure I miscalculated the date, or maybe I didn't see it, or whatever. I'm pretty sure it's my fault, but I'm going to blame it on the system.
My fault, but I'm blaming you.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what I'm going with anyways. But anyways, long story short, now that I'm done venting, turns out that if I had gotten 2 people to give me an acceptable grade within 2 days of when I submitted it, I would have only been 5 days into course 6's current session. And that would have given me 3 days to do week 1's assignment. But because those people took 12 whole days and I was already 5 days behind, by the time I finished course 6, I was 17 days. I was in week 3 of 4 weeks, and it was just too much work behind. I would have had to pay for the course and then probably get transferred to the January session anyways because of peers not going back and checking previous weeks to see if there's somebody who needs the grade. So now that I'm done venting and complaining about that, because I'm still upset about it, I still bitch about it every time it gets brought up.
You do.
For no fault of my own, I was not able to finish my SEO certification this year. Missing the dates was my fault, but if everybody else had done what they were supposed to when they were supposed to, it wouldn't have mattered that I didn't catch the date. But my peers let me down. So,
stupid peers.
So I don't feel so bad about giving them the grades they deserve. Because, there's always the people who don't look. They just go through and give you a 100, boom, boom, boom. And there's that, culture within peer grading where you give me a good grade and I'll give you a good grade. Which generally speaking, I do. Like, especially if it's somebody who just struggles with English, but they did the assignment, I'll give them a good grade. But that guy on course 5 who ended up giving me a bad grade didn't even do the assignments. Anyways, wrapping it up. Stop whining about it, Amy. Get over it. Through no fault of my own, I was not able to complete my main goal, which was to finish my SEO certification by the end of the year. And once I knew that there was not going to happen, it was in November. So then I switched over to try to finish my rough draft by the end of November, which I did not do, but I did make 50,000 words. So I did win Nano.
Nice.
So then I transferred it over to finishing it by the end of the year, which I am also not going to complete because I've got, 36 hours and I've probably still got like 15 chapters to write. So it ain't going to happen. 15 scenes. And, so it ain't going to happen. And because you were the person who pep talked me, but about a week ago, maybe, I was starting to get upset and I was spending so much time working on that and then trying to do the holiday stuff and all that stuff. And it was really starting to bother me. I wasn't talking to anybody because I knew I was going to fail. And then Skye reached out and pep talked me a little bit and reminded me of how much progress I made on the project, even if I was not going to meet that one kind of arbitrary deadline. There's no reason for me to read it to meet that deadline except a personal goal. So she convinced me to kind of let myself off the hook. And I decided that as long as I put effort towards the goal for the rest of the year, I can excuse myself, not hold myself accountable to it, and forgive myself for not meeting that goal that I was so excited about.
Yeah.
So, but that one does transfer over into one of my new goals. I have until January 21st. That's when I start course 6. So I would like my new goal to be finish my rough draft by January 20th. So that when I start course 6, I don't have anything else competing for my attention. So, that's my 2 main inconscluded. I think technically this would be even though that's not the right way to say it. Unconcluded, whatever. My 2 ongoing goals are to finish my rough draft by January 20th. Let me write that down in those words. And my SEO certification which I should finish sometime in February.
Okay.
It's a 4-week course, and it starts on January 21st. So even if I have to resubmit an assignment because I don't get the grade that I want, I should finish it in February. And if not February, maybe March. I'm terrified that what's going to happen is I'm going to resubmit, and all these other people are not worried about the number. They just want the certification, and I want the 100. So, that I'm going to have this happen again, that my certification is going to get bumped to the April session because these people are zooming through the January session and they're not bothering to go back if I have to resubmit something. So, fingers crossed, but that could complicate things too. And there's supposed to be mentors for these courses, and I'm a mentor for some other courses in Course RA. And I know that they get an email every single day. And I even posted something directly to the mentor forum, like, help me. And they still didn't help me.
Oh, that's
so, yeah. So the whole experience was very sour, but I know it's just one of those kind of like nobody's actually to blame sort of things. You can't expect everybody's schedule to revolve around yours. So
yeah,
I don't blame anybody for it, but I'm still, given some side-eye glare at course 6 because it's going to be more peer graded assignments, and I hate peer graded assignments. So that's my 2 main goals. They were my 2 main goals for 2018, and I did not finish them for reasons that I've already complained about. I won't launch into that again. So those are going to be my 2 big goals for 2019 in general, but primarily for January, February, because I should actually be able to finish both of those goals within January, February. So, my other main goal was to get a laptop, which I did. Woohoo! I got a laptop. A friend helped me out and got me a really good deal on a refurbished Toshiba 17-inch screen. So, hell yeah. Now, it's my first ever 17-inch screen, so I'm very excited about it. Skye actually showed me that on a 17-inch screen, you can have 2 documents at 100% size and snap them to the 2 sides of the screen and see them both at the same time. And I think my eyes popped out of my head because I was like, oh my God, I didn't know. That's why they make 17-inch screens. The gamers took over on it because that big screen is awesome. Well, it was those professionals who were like, I need to see both documents at the same time, damn it. So now I know. So once I got my heart set on a 17-inch, I got my heart set on a 17-inch, and it's refurbished, but I do not care. I am so happy to have it. I'm just like, oh my God, yes. And it runs the Screaming Frog application, which I need for SEO stuff.
There you go.
So, oh God, yes. I did not get the Office 365 subscription, but yes. I'm still probably going to get it at some point in the near future. And I do have an older version of Office on my old laptop. So I might still have to use both laptops right now, but in a couple of weeks, I'll be doing all the work on the new laptop. So,
yay! I'm so excited for you.
I know. I'm so happy. I was afraid it wasn't going to happen because 17-inch laptops are not cheap. They don't, all the good deals come out on 15-inch laptops and all that kind of stuff. But my friend really hooked me up. So I got the laptop, which was my big goal. I'm so happy about it. I did not transfer all my files over to the 17-inch though. Just my just my rough draft.
Okay.
Because I don't have, like I said, that Microsoft Office stuff on the new laptop. So I have not transferred over all my files yet, which is one of my to-do lists. We talked about this in the past. I think there's a distinction between a goals list and a to-do list. And I think the to-do list is all of the steps that you have to take to make progress on your goals list. Okay. So I consider the, transferring my files as part of just my to-do list. It's not actually important for me like it was important for you because you've got a whole plan going on with your Mac. You're going to get that vellum and all that kind of stuff.
The whole reason I wanted the Mac was so I could start using Vellum.
Yes.
Vellum's expensive though, so that's gonna be my next major big purchase is getting Vellum.
Yeah.
But I'm so excited about that.
I know you've been talking about it for a while. Totally.
I have. I'm just excited that I finally got my Mac because I was not expecting to get my Mac until honestly about tax time 2019. And I saw a deal on this one. I was like, screw it, I'm going to get it. That would be my Nano reward to myself since I finished Nano. And
it worked out for you because it was only about $100 more than your budget that you had set aside for your NaNoWriMo prize anyways.
Yep, exactly.
So you got lucky with that too. It totally worked out.
Yep.
But I had a few other secondary goals like yard work, which I completed to an acceptable degree. I live in the woods, not just in the country. I live in the woods. So there is always branches and trees and pine straw, so much pine straw everywhere all the time. So that never really stops, but I accomplished everything that I wanted to do on it. The research goal also never stops because there's always something new happening in life that you need to research.
Yep.
So that is another, I want to come up with a term for ongoing goals. Like, that's just something that I'm going to keep writing to remind myself to never stop doing it.
Okay.
Not necessarily a goal.
I will have to figure something out because there is a term for that. I just don't know what it is.
Right.
While you're finishing recapping, I need to run to the restroom real quick.
Okay. I'll just keep running my mouth until you get back then.
You're good. Just finish recapping. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, you're fine. Research is one of the ones that I have on my list that I completed most of, but not all of. Primarily, the thing that I'm been meaning to finish researching and conclude is I want to get a DBA, a doing business as, and I want to do all of my writing and stuff like that in that name. I want that to be my pen name because I love the name that I came up with. And I also want to use that as my kind of like my online identity. I want that to be my SEO name. I don't want my actual name out there. And it's as long as you file the DBA, and near as I can tell, as long as your DBA is not someone else's name, you file it and it's all legit. I can get bank accounts under that name. I can file taxes, all that kind of jazz. And that sounds great for what is essentially freelance work just under a name that's not my legal name. So that's what my main research goal is. I need to finish researching that and follow through. So that's going to be one of my other kind of like a primary goal for the year. But I'm putting it on my January, February because all I really need to do is just finish my research and then file it. So that's probably what I'm going to be doing in January, February, if I get around to it. And if not, it'll just be one of the ones that gets moved to the next list. Another secondary goal that I had was to work on, I do have a few SEO clients now, which is really just friends who I'm doing SEO stuff for. But you're not there, Skye. When you get back, I'll have to brag about that. I do have my first SEO client who is not a friend lined up. And so SEO client projects was on my secondary list. And that's another one of the ones like research that I put on the list because I knew I wanted to focus on it. But I've been making constant progress on it this whole time. So I'm counting that as a win. I'm counting that as a completed. And I'm also counting the research as completed. I have update finances on here, which I worked on but did not complete. I basically just wanted to revamp our finance notebook, but I'm going to translate that over into my Bujo stuff, bullet journal stuff, which we're going to be working on in the next couple of days. And I did not complete that one. I kind of honestly, that goal just sort of got pushed aside with the holiday and everything. So updating finances, I'm going to lump into updating my bullet journal in the near future.
Okay.
I think I already told you this, But one of the things that I just recapped was one of my secondary goals was clients SEO projects, just to work on my clients. I got my first client who's not a friend.
Yay!
Did I tell you that already?
You did not.
Yes, I did. I've got my first client lined up who's not a friend.
Awesome.
And so yeah, I'm excited about that. My first not friend SEO client. And it's a small business owner. So I'm like totally pumped because I'm like, hello. Not only can I do something special called localization in SEO, but she has other small business owner friends.
Yay.
So, hell yeah.
References.
Woo-hoo. Yep. And so yeah, that pretty much sums up what my secondary goals were for November, December. Research and SEO clients works are things, even yard work are things that never stop around here, but I keep them on my goals list because I want to hold myself accountable to working on them all the time.
Yeah.
And my rough draft became a primary goal. It was one of my secondary one. And update finances, I did not complete at all, but I am turning that into one of my secondary goals of setting up my Bujo bullet journal.
Okay.
So I always do a little bit on the bullet journal, and it comes and goes throughout the year, depending on how much time I actually feel like putting into it. But last year, I actually did manage to find like a template for my week that works for me. I have a chore chart, and if I keep up with that chore chart throughout the week, my housework does not interfere with the amount of hours a day that I have to spend on the computer because I'm still learning this SEO stuff, and everything SEO takes place on the computer. And I'm writing my book, and everything writing the book takes place on the computer. I'm past all the handwriting part. So I've got my chores list. I've got a weekly spread. It's just, I've come up with my perfect generic weekly spread. And it took me most of last year to come up with it. But now that I've got that, I really think I'll be able to commit to my bullet journal this year. So I've got bullet journal on my secondary list for now for my January, February goals, because I'll be working on that in the next couple of days.
Okay.
And getting that set up for 2019. And I'm going to give myself January and February 8 weeks to do it the way that I think it's going to work. You know what I mean? Use my weekly spreads, do everything that I've got in place that I think will work for me consistently for the next 8 weeks to see how it works. So I have bullet journal as one of my secondary goals because I'm going to give myself the next 8 weeks to see if the system that I think will work for me actually works.
That's basically what I've been doing this month, is testing the system that I want to start using come January in my bullet journal.
Smart. That way we get ahead for the new year.
Yep.
So that pretty much recaps. My primaries were get a laptop, which I did, SEO certification, which I did not do, rough draft, which I did not do. And then my secondaries were, now that I'm looking at it, my secondary goals were mostly just things that I need to be working on all the time. SEO clients, research, yard work, and finances. And that's my recap for November, December. January, February, do you want to go ahead and lead off with your new goals for the new year?
It sounds like you have yours already thought out, whereas I've been kind of writing mine down right now because I really have not come up with the goals for January, February, just because there's so much going to be happening over the next couple of days dealing with my personal life. For those who don't know, my husband, there was a long-term plan. My husband was going to switch jobs. I was going to quit my job. And I was going to go to writing full-time because his job would be different set of hours, so there would need to be someone to put the kids on the bus and get them off the bus in the afternoon. And then he was also going to be making enough that I could go to writing full-time. And then eventually, mid-summertime, we were going to move up to Montana because my grandmother died. She passed the farm on to my mother and my aunt. Neither one of them wanted it, and my husband and I were asked if we wanted it, and we said yes. We're still going through with that plan, but it's not working out as fast as we wanted it to. The job that my husband is switching to, he has orientation on January 2nd. He's going to orientation on January 2nd, and he's finding out when he goes to boot camp that day as well. And that is affecting a lot of what I was originally planning for January, February. And because there's so much stuff up in the air right now, I'm not going to make an actual goals list until after January 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
I have some things that I know I would like to accomplish, but a lot of what I want to accomplish will be affected by when he goes to boot camp, because when he goes to boot camp, he'll be gone for a full month. He won't be here at all.
And that affects everything. Not only do you have childcare, but also finances. That's a month with only one income.
Yes. So yeah,
that's definitely shaping all of your goals for the next 2 months.
It is. And we have estimates on when everything's going to start rolling with the new job. But we won't have anything official until January 2nd. So I will be updating the description with my official goals, but I don't have anything actually official right now. I just have some things that I would like to accomplish. I think I wrote down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things. And these mostly actually transfer from the last, my last set of goals. I have write 2 projects. I don't have listed what those 2 projects are because every time I specify which projects, I always have to mark one of them off for whatever reason. So I want to write and finish 2 projects. I want to learn how to use iMovie so I can start uploading videos again. I want to get my finances established. Again, that's really rough because of everything that's going on with Justin's new job, the orientation, the boot camp, and all that fun stuff. Can you guys go away?
Yeah, you won't be able to accomplish that goal at all until he gets back from boot camp, whenever it is.
Yeah, I can at least start figuring it out because we know how much he's going to get paid. It's just a matter of when he starts and when he'll start getting paid.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I can at least start figuring that out once we know when he starts.
Yeah.
Yes, you can go still have pizza crust. I don't know. You'll have to figure it out. We had pizza last night and they're asking for the crust because there's several people who don't eat crust. So we usually gather all the crusts up into one box for everyone who does eat crust. But apparently it's all been eaten because there's no crust in any of these boxes. Anyways, so finances. I want to, again, read 8 books. Those are not yours, but that is not pizza. Anyways, read 8 books, and 2 of them have to be nonfiction. That's a usual goal. That one's probably never really going to change. I might increase the number of books eventually, but for right now, we'll just leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do at least 5 Sunday live streams. Most of them will be write-ins because with wanting to complete as many projects as I have, they're going to be mostly write-ins, and then we'll schedule the next bi-monthly goal recap as well as new goal setting. I need to figure out a way to shorten the titles because they're really long. Bi-monthly goals, November, December recap, and new goals for 2019 is the name of this video. That's really long. Gotta figure out how to shorten that, yo.
I think you're gonna have to come up with your own names, like Girls and Goals or something like that, and you can have it as part of a series.
I like that idea, especially since one of the people who I've invited to join these live streams that hasn't. This is someone I used to do. We used to do what we call planning parties, where we would sit down. We would get together one weekend and sit down. This was when I was doing monthly goals, though. We would actually meet up on a weekend, get together, sit down, and go over all of our goals together, sitting down and planning out our month. And we stopped doing that when he moved down to the beach. But he's the only guy I know that actually plans the way I do. And I have invited him to these live streams, and his schedule just hasn't worked out so that he can actually join us. But he's the only, like I said, he's the only guy I know that actually does anything planning wise. So I have no problem calling it Girls and Goals or something like that. I'll figure something out. I do like the idea of naming it. Now that you've brought that up. So I'll add that to my list. Name goals series. Okay. And the last thing that's on my list is I want to finish paying off the credit cards, which hopefully will happen soon, honestly.
But that's another finance-based goal that will depend on hubby's new job and when you quit yours and stuff that you won't know for another 2 months, 3 months.
Yeah. So actually, it won't even be that long. Like I said, we'll know come January 2nd, we will know what his schedule is going to be and when he's leaving for boot camp. So by the end of next week, I'll be able to start. I'll be able to get the ball rolling with both finances and credit cards.
Cool.
So it actually will not be that much longer.
But as of recording this live stream, it's still up in the air and you can't give any definite dates.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
So what about you?
We need to come up with the word for what are the goals that are long term. Like, I'm never going to stop doing this, like my research, but I need a label for it. That would be a good thing to do in the series too. You've got your primary goals, your secondary goals, and your ongoing goals. And something that starts with a G. We'll brainstorm. You know, I love doing that kind of stuff. But anyways, I've got 3 primary goals. SEO certification, finish my rough draft by January 20th.
Okay.
Finish my SEO certification should be by the end of February if everything goes well, cross fingers. And I also would like to go ahead and get off my ass and get my DBA going, because as soon as I finish this course 6, I'll have my SEO certification. So I'll be able to go out there and start looking in the mills and submitting my resume and stuff like that as an SEO. Technically, I'll be able to start looking for an SEO job the day after. And I've talked about this before. I really want the DBA. I really want that buffer between my online work and my actual personal identity. So I've got DBA on there. I need to wrap up my research and file it. And so that's on my list of my 3 primary goals for the next 2 months. And then my secondary goals are setting up my Bujo and my 8-week trial. That's going to take all 8 weeks. I have research on there because there's still a few things that I did not finish the research for. But that's things like property searches and stuff like that, where it's just ongoing until you're done. Like, there's not really steps or anything like that.
Okay.
But bullet journal, research. I also have reading as one of my secondary goals, because I need to get back to reading more fiction work, especially now that I'm trying to write fiction. I read so much nonfiction that writing fiction is now difficult, because I don't read that much fiction anymore. So I want to get back to reading. And also I want to, I kind of like the idea of being a beta reader. Dana, can't remember her last name. Sorry. I'm a beta reader for her at the moment. I'm working my way through her manuscript, and she's got like a questionnaire that I fill out every so often. And, haven't finished that one yet, so I want to finish that one. And then you and I have talked about being beta readers for each other once we finish these projects. So I've got some beta reading coming up in my future. And I just want to get back to reading more variety in my books. I did slack off for pretty much all of 2018. You know what happened in my life in 2018, and I don't want to tell YouTube. So, but it was a big life-changing thing, and I'm proud of myself that I managed to do any of this stuff. Like, the fact that I managed to do anything after what happened and the years of things that built up to that, I'm really proud of it. I feel really good about it. Maybe one day I'll feel good enough about it to tell YouTube, but probably not. I like my anonymity, and the only way to have that is to not participate. So that's why I don't do social media. But anyways, you know what I'm talking about. So you can agree and say, yeah, It
Yep.
is a big deal that I did anything considering what happened.
It is.
And
It is.
and I managed to meet some goals like getting a new laptop. And I tried to do that whole 18 for 18 thing in January of last year, and then the big bad thing happened in February. And so I actually started a bunch of stuff January next year and started making progress, and then didn't do anything for a good 4 months. And
The journal stuff.
so anyways, I've got a few things on there. I think I'm just going to translate over my 18 for 18 list. I actually wanted to throw this out there to you. Maybe next weekend could be a bullet journal stream.
I would actually like that because
we're setting up new bullet journal stuffs, and I see a lot of stuff online about how to use your bullet journal with your writing. We could maybe just, say, hey, I'm going to try this out. But I think that would be a good potential theme for next week if everything works out.
I like this idea.
Cool. So, got a lot of stuff like that, and stuff that basically I just have to sit down and do it. Ass and seat, like we were talking earlier in the stream. Like you just got to sit down and actually do it.
Yep. Good morning, Dana. Dana's joined us.
Hi, Dana. We're just talking about you. Talking about working on the beta reading for
all
your
good things.
Yeah. And that's one of my goals is to I like being a beta reader. I think it's cool. It makes me feel super special. So finish up the beta reading project that I'm doing now and get ready for the ones that I've got lined up in the future, primarily yours.
I was gonna say, have I asked you yet if you could be my beta reader? I can't even remember if I asked you.
You did, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Actually, you know what? You didn't ask me. You mentioned I might need a beta reader, and then in one of these previous live streams, you were like, "Oh, by the way, you are going to be one of the beta readers."
Oh, okay. Sorry.
But
I volunteered.
Yeah.
I hope you don't mind.
No, I'm so excited. I love spoilers. Tell me now. I want to read it now. I don't want to wait.
Well, in 2 weeks, you might get your wish.
Yes. And, but then I have one final secondary goal, and that is I just wrote down schooling, because this SEO thing is way different than anything that I've had to do in the past. And there's a lot of things like, to be proficient at SEO, I need to know some HTML, and I don't know squat. Until this SEO thing, I didn't know what HTML meant. So there's stuff like probably a couple other, at least certificates that I'm going to get through Coursera, like the HTML one, to help flush out my resume and just to teach myself the other parts of my job that I don't know yet. Because this certification has done a really great job of teaching me what to do, but just kind of barely leading into how to do it.
Okay.
Like there's a lot of teach yourself in this field, because this field is constantly changing. Google puts out roughly 500 updates a year to their algorithm, and their algorithm is like the center of my universe as an SEO. And so that's 500 updates in a year. And, sometimes they'll do one little update that will just completely derail a client's site, and you got to recover it. Like, it's really an ongoing
process,
everyday thing. So there's a lot of stuff that I don't know yet. So I just wrote down schooling, because I know there are things that I don't know that I need to know that will make me better at it. And I have to work up to it. So now that I'm done talking about myself, recap: 3 primary goals: DBA, which I do not expect myself to complete, but I'm putting it on the list to hold myself accountable to it eventually. Finish my rough draft by January 20th. And then my SEO certification starts on the 21st and hopefully will be done by the end of February.
Okay.
That's my primaries. My secondaries are research and schooling and reading.
Okay.
And setting up my bullet journal and giving an 8-week trial to see if there's anything I need to change.
Okay.
So that's my January, February goals. And I've got a few other things written down here, but I'll save them for next week when we're talking about the bullet journal.
Okay.
I was thinking next week's bullet journal could be a little bit more like a 2019 overall, including what goals are we going to try to reflect in our bullet journal.
Yeah, because like 2019 is a whole kind of thing, whereas this is just goals for January, February. What, kiddo? Those are my colored pencils. Put them back. You're not using them. Are those the ones you grabbed out of that bag? Those are mine. You can't use them. Put them back. Stop using my stuff.
So you just discussed this, but for you to recap also, your personal goals are pending what happens over the next week or so, depending on your husband and that kind of situation. But
Yep.
What are your writing goals that you actually have for January, February?
I want to write and complete 2 projects. The ones that I'm thinking will happen are the last 2 books in the kiddo. No, I am live stream right now. You guys know that. Life happens even when you're live.
I wish I could talk to my chickens like that and they'd listen.
Okay. What was I saying? Oh, I would like those 2 projects to be the next 2 books in the Damned and Dangerous series because I am almost finished with Damned and Dangerous. I will finish it before the end of December. But every time I write down a bunch of, like, I will write this, and I will write this,
Mm-hmm.
I never accomplish the latter ones because I end up rewriting, redoing something with the first one that affects the others.
Mm-hmm.
So while I would like to say that my goal is to write Damned and Deadly and Damned and Demonic, which are the last 2 in the trilogy, I'm not going to say that those 2 are going to be the ones I will work on. My goal is to finish 2 projects, but those 2 projects might not be the ones that get finished. It might be other ones because they're not related to the Damned and Dangerous series.
Gotcha.
I also need to beta read Dana's story as well. I have not gotten started. I've read through the questions, and I have started reading through the story. But again, it goes back to what happened with your screenplay. It's more button chair stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't done that because I fail as an adult. Also, Mac Mardigan does not have Word yet. So that affects things.
Yeah.
Makes it a little difficult to open a project that is saved in Word. That's not really an excuse because there's other things I could do instead. But that's my excuse for now.
Yeah.
That's not a real excuse. I have other ways of reading it. But that's my excuse for now. But I need to get that done. I need to at least do, my goal is to do, with the beta reading, my goal is to at least do 1 chapter every 2 weeks. So I want to do 2 chapters a month. So that would be, by the end of February, I want to have at least the first 4 chapters done. I would like to have more than that, but I'll say the first 4 chapters because I've already been sitting on this project for, a month and haven't even started yet. So, and it goes back to the same thing I was talking about with your screenplay. Once I sat down and actually did it, it didn't take me that long to do.
Yeah.
So 4 chapters of beta reading at least. 4+ chapters. I'm writing this stuff down for those who can't see. I'm keeping a notebook because I've been adding into the description what goals we're working on. So I don't even know if you can actually read it, see it. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. When you can't see what I'm doing, that's what I'm doing. It's probably blurry, but that's okay. I'm just writing down what we're talking about, basically. It's my notes notebook.
Yeah. Got to get one of those. Oh, I've been telling everybody, I recently got that Google Keep Notes on my phone, and I am in love with it. It is the best. Yes, Google Keep Notes. It's a memo app. It's Google's memo app.
Okay.
And, it's fantastic. Like, you can do, there's so much stuff you can do. I just keep geeking out about it because it's everything that I wanted in a memo app that I didn't even know that I wanted. You can set alarms on your memos. Like,
ooh.
the other day, this is the example that I've been telling people, like sometimes you'll get something. Okay. You need to put a memo, but you need like 5 steps, and Google makes all 5 of those steps awesome. I went to a chicken show recently, and this guy only had 1 business card. I was able to snap a picture of the business card, save it to my phone. Excuse me, chicken. What are you doing? No. The door came open, and now this adorable little rooster, one of our little bantam boys, who's very friendly, is now walking on my papers. Just stay off the keyboard. Sorry. Anyways, I was able to snap a picture of this business card, save it to take the picture, right? Just take the picture. Then I was able to go in Google Keep Notes, select that picture. I was able to put the title, call so-and-so at 3 a.m. or not 3 a.m., 3 p.m. Underneath the picture, I was able to put the caption of like 3 questions that I wanted to ask this guy. And then I was able to set an alarm on my phone for like 2:45 to say, hey, call this guy at 3 o'clock. And it took me like 45 seconds to do all this shit.
That's awesome.
Google Keep Notes, it knew you can add titles and captions to the memo, which I love because, you know, call at 3. I don't need to put that down there with all the questions and all that stuff. Whatever. It's fantastic. If anybody takes a lot of memos on your phone, check it out because I am absolutely in love with it.
Speaking of apps, there's 2 apps I want to mention. One of them is writing related. It's not one I've been using lately, but it's one that I back when I was doing nothing but computer stuff all the time. Now the only computer stuff I seem to be doing is writing. And YouTube. Let's face it, I do lots of YouTube too on the computer. But back when I was doing everything on the computer and I was looking for something, I was looking for a way to track my word counts. This was before I started using Scrivener. Mm-hmm. One of the sites, and I will be updating the description with links to both Google Keep Notes and these 2 that I'm getting ready to mention. But I wanted something that worked similar to Nano in that it would help me track projects and see daily word counts and daily stuff like that. And it looked like the Nano charts with the bar graphs and stuff. And I found a site that does that, and it's called WordKeeper Alpha. And I will be putting a link down below. But if you need something to help you keep you accountable, that works similar to Nano in that it'll tell you how many words you have to write. I believe it tells you how many words you have to write daily in order to meet your goal. And it also gives you bar graphs of how your growth is going daily or monthly. Mm-hmm. You can set up goals on it. You can set up various projects on it. So like you could have multiple projects going at one time and keep track of all those projects and what you write on those projects each day.
Cool. And this is a free app, right?
This is a free app online. I don't think it has a mobile version. I have not checked to see if there's a mobile version. I believe it's still just in computer version. Oopsie.
Okay.
Let's see. The other app I want to mention is one that it's not the same as Google Keep Notes at all, but I would use it in similar ways. It allows you to track your habits and your goals and gamify them basically, and it's called Habitica. And you basically keep a list. You create a little 8-bit character.
Oh yeah, you've mentioned that.
Yep, and you create an 8-bit character, and you can. Oops, crap! That's not what I wanted to do. Crap. Ah, crap.
But you've mentioned that app before. You can set it for simple things like personal goals, like brush my teeth every day.
Yep.
And as you work towards the goal, you like defeat monsters and stuff like that in the game, right?
Yep, that's exactly how it works. So, sorry, I was trying to copy a link address, and I'm still getting used to the copy and paste stuff on the Mac. I accidentally typed in something instead of copying because the keystrokes that I'm used to using are not the same. It's not Control-C and Control-V. It's Command.
Whoa. You know I'm on the fence about Apple products.
I know. You don't like them.
I've never had a good experience with them. I want to like them. And especially from people who like seem to know what they're talking about and they say apples are better. And I'm like, okay. Yeah. When I find one that's nice to me, maybe then I'll consider using it. But I have so many problems with Apple products. So like the only complaint I have about my new laptop is it's a new keyboard for me to get used to.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that I like about it. Like the Toshiba, the volume buttons are actually volume buttons. On my old Dell, I had to press the function key and they were F11 and F12.
Okay.
So I didn't even actually have volume buttons. I had a volume function. And that really frustrated me because I couldn't do it with one hand. My hand is not big enough to reach from the function key all the way over on the left to the F11 and F12 buttons. So I basically couldn't turn my volume up and down on my keyboard with one hand,
Ooh,
which I can do on the Toshiba, which I love. But with that big 17-inch screen comes that big 17-inch keyboard, and now I have to get used to typing on another keyboard. That's like the fourth keyboard that I have to get used to. And I'm not good at it. I'm not a good typer to begin with. And always been bad at it. Always. Keyboarding class in middle school, I did not get a good grade because I just can't do it. And I've been working at it for all these years, and you'd think, but no, still can't do it. And
so Google, you said keep notes. Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you real quick. Is the icon a yellow page with the corner turned up with what looks like a light bulb on it in white?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I was grabbing the right link real quick. Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. That was pretty much the gist of my complaint. Is that getting used to new laptops. I couldn't imagine trying to get used to a whole new system. Like you're switching over from PCs to Apples. And, you've talked about the scrolling is different. You go down to go up and up to go down. That would just be no. And
it's only driving me insane because I'm still using PCs at work. And this is pretty much the only computer I'm using at home now. And a lot of the stuff that's different. And I've gotten to it's really easy for me to adapt to different computers. Whatever I use at home is easier for me to adapt to because I use it usually more often. So I have found myself looking for the command button on my work computer going, where is it? And I've found myself scrolling up to try to go down instead of the opposite because everything is inverted with the Mac.
Yeah.
It's just, that's what's driving me insane now is the fact that I am trying to use my PC at work like a Mac.
Yeah.
It don't work that way.
No. Sorry, now there's an even bigger chicken up here.
Hi.
I'm in the camper. I don't know. For those of you just tuning in, my office is actually the camper out in the yard. Not the laptop. What the hell? Sorry. The little bitty rooster just hopped on the screen, like up at the top to roost.
It's like a cat. It's like a cat.
It is. It really is. But that's my office when I do these live streams. I have a desk and everything in my room, and I do most of my work in the house, but I try to come outside during the live stream because my room is close to the computer and the TV and the kitchen. So, there's always noise in the background, and I try to come out here to be quiet and be discreet, give them the inside time and me the quiet in the background, but I end up being harassed by chickens the whole time because I like to leave the door open for the airflow. So it's my own damn fault that I'm interrupting your feed, and I'm sorry. But you cannot walk on the keyboard. Stop it. No. Turn. They're just like a cat. Once they start going in one direction, they're like, no, I have to walk over the keyboard to get to the other side where there's not even room for them to be standing. I've got my drink and table lamp and shit on that side. But for some reason, they're still like, no, I got to walk right over the keyboard to get to the other side of the laptop. Come on. Little bipeds.
That is so funny. I'm sorry. I should be laughing. I love when your chickens interrupt our live streams, honestly. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
I know you don't. I think it's hilarious.
The only thing that I don't like about chickens is that they do not take commands. You can train chickens to do like little tricks, but as far as stop it, go away, or bugging me, never going to happen. Like they are never going to understand that. Never. So if I don't close the door, they're going to interrupt me at some point. But I just like to have the door open because I like the airflow. So it's my own fault.
I love it.
But anyways, yeah. And they constantly contribute to all of my gardening needs. because there's always something with chicken poop on it that I have to spray off.
Yep.
Because we have free ranging chickens. So.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I like them more than I thought I would. I'm pretty sure I've said this before, but when we got them like 5 years ago, I just expected them to be like hyperactive lawn ornaments, but they're not. They've got personalities, and some of them like you more than others, and
some of them are just plain jerks that need their heads chopped off.
Yes. He's got to go. So, yeah. Oh. I think I'm going to have to go out there, and now I'm going to have to wrangle the dogs.
Uh-oh.
A friend came over, and she has she's already in the house, but she has a little Chihuahua mix.
Oh, no.
And I have a Husky mix, and a Catahoula, and a Big Mutt. And
all of the big dogs.
Yeah, the big dogs think it's fun to play with the little dogs, but unfortunately, the little dog is squishable. So you got to keep an eye on them.
That's funny. Well, I don't have anything else, so we can actually wrap this up.
Okay.
I would eventually I want to get through. I'm looking at the comments, and Dana and Amy Tascata are basically having a sidebar conversation about beta reading.
Mm-hmm.
Dana finds that beta reading is great and nerve-wracking as an author. Tascata says it helps keep me on track. So like each week, my betas expect a new chapter, and a lot of time I think I want to do really good on this chapter. I want X to go, aww. And Dana asked if she gives beta readers an appreciation gift. I would eventually like to do a live stream talking about beta reading. I don't have a lot of beta reading experiences, and I'm a very bad beta reader, as Amy can tell you. Earlier in the stream, she mentioned it took me 7 months to do one
42-page screenplay.
Yeah. And I've had Dana's project for a month and haven't started on it, so that tells you how that's going too. So I'm a bad beta reader. But
that is something to touch on. It is very much an important part of the writing field.
It is. And that's why I would like to do eventually I want to do a live stream talk about beta reading. I want to get more done on Dana's project before I talk about beta reading, though, just because I don't have that much experience with it, and I'm a bad beta reader. I'm sorry.
Oh, totally just had this idea. Have you tried reading Dana's manuscript with that free version of Word that's online in the cloud thing? Maybe you can at least open it in there and read it there.
OpenOffice?
Yeah, OpenOffice.
Yeah, I'll be downloading OpenOffice soon. I haven't downloaded it yet.
Okay.
And then that's what I'll probably be doing too. Until I get Microsoft Office, that's probably what I'll be doing.
Yeah.
Okay. Tasca says, beta readers are authors. I don't give them gifts since it's like when you need it, I'll do it for you. She gives her ARC team gifts. I send them an autographed paperback once they put up the review within X amount of time.
Yeah.
All right. But like I said, that's all I have. And you've got things you've got now dog issues instead of chicken issues that you need to deal with.
Yeah.
So I think we can wrap this up.
Okay.
We've talked about our goals from November, December. We talked about our goals ongoing into January, February, and what goals we'll be talking about 2019 goals overall next week, it sounds like, as well as bullet journal stuff, Bujo stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got a plan.
We do.
And next week I'll have next weekend I'll probably have the rest of my goals ironed out so that I can actually talk about them in more detail, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm thinking next week might be a good bullet journal and how we're planning for our annual goals within the bullet journal.
Yep.
That might be a good merge of the two.
I like this idea.
I'm glad. I agree. It sounds fun.
Let's do this.
So yeah. Anyways, we recapped all of our goals. I've already said them like 4 times, so I won't bore anybody by saying them again. My name is Amy Nobody. I'm a friend of Skye's, and I've been joining her for some of these live streams because I'm working on my first ever fiction book. I guess I'll put it that way, since we also discovered earlier in the stream, I was thinking this is not actually my first fiction project, but I'm considering it my first fiction project because even screenplays are very short. You know what I mean? Like, you get no description whatsoever. But I do have a series of screenplays finished. And so anyways, this is my first fiction book. And I joined Skye for some of the nano write-ins and that kind of thing. And that's why I'm here. I'm a freelance writer getting my SEO certification, and I don't have any social media to share because I don't use it. And I don't have any projects to promote because I've never done anything except expository work in the past. So we jokingly call me a ghost in the feed every once in a while. I'm just a friend who doesn't even put her actual name on the internet. So I'm glad to be here. I look forward to next weekend. I'll definitely be there for the bullet journal stuff too. And yeah, that's me.
All right. And I'm reading through the comments because they're still doing this.
The convo.
Yeah, I'm reading the comments section. Welcome, Dorothea. Dorothea just joined us. I believe I'm pronouncing your name right. I'm really bad with names, so I apologize ahead of time if I ever pronounce someone's name wrong. Just saying. But Amy Tascata brought up a good point. She said she sticks the name of people in her books as a thank you. And I have found myself with this project, I have names of 3 people that I actually know. The characters themselves are nothing like the people whose names I borrowed, but I borrowed their names for characters.
I have the unfortunate situation where some of my friends' names are some of like my favorite names.
Yeah.
Like my best friend since childhood's name is Melissa. And that's one of my favoriteest names. And I don't know if it's one of my favorite names because she's one of my favorite people. But I want to use that name so bad because it's such a pretty name. And then you've got Skye. That's such an awesome name. And I have an aunt named Dorothea, by the way. And I've got cool names, just cool names. And they're attached to real people. And I'm like, I want to use that name so bad, but I do not want that person to question whether or not I actually associate them with that character.
Yeah.
Because they're basically extra names to me. My main characters, I'm definitely one of those people who always gives my main character a really unique name. Okay. Like really unique, cool, at least a name that I think is cool and unique. Like my entire name has 10 letters. My entire name, all 3 names, has 10 letters. I know people whose first names are like 11 and 12 letters.
Yep. Like my girls are a really good example.
Yes. Gwendolyn, I'm sure, has more than 10 letters, right?
Gracelyn and Gwendolyn both have, I think there's the same number. No, there's not the same number of letters. Hold on. Gracelynne. One word, 10 letters. Gwendolyn, Gwendolynne. 11 letters.
Okay.
And that's just her first name.
Yeah, that's just her first name. So I always give my main characters, just the coolest name I can come up with. But then there's secondary characters and, passerbys where, this person does show up in the story 2 or 3 times. So I need to give them a name. Mm-hmm. And all the names that I want to use are all the names that I know in real life.
I gave one of my Uber drivers a name. He's only in one very short scene. He doesn't say but like 2 words. I gave him a name.
Oh, yeah.
Poor Parker. He gets a name. Parker, the Uber driver.
I bet you there's a Parker out there somewhere.
Probably.
No doubt.
Probably. I was thinking of Spider-Man for some reason. I was like, his name's going to be Parker. That'll be his first name. Screw it. Why not?
Yeah. Why not?
It's the first thing that popped in my head. I don't even know why that popped in my head. I was at work when Parker popped in my head on one of my lunch breaks. Don't know why I was thinking about Spider-Man.
Yeah.
No idea.
But anyways, I think that's all I've got to contribute.
Yep. So next week we're going to do our bullet journal broadcast live chat, and Dana's excited about that. She said that she would love to bullet journal. She just needs a guide. I posted a link earlier up into the comments for writer Carol's. I believe I spelled Carol right, but I'm not positive about that. He was the creator of the bullet journal, and his short, like 3-minute video is perfect for anyone who wants to get into bullet journaling or is just curious about what it actually is. I have finally started. I started bullet journaling at the beginning of last year or this year. No, this year. Beginning of this year, 2018. We're still in 2018, Skye. Come on. And this is, it's been an ongoing learning process because I was kind of like you. I started doing something, I stopped, and then I started doing it again this month, basically. And I think I finally found a system that's going to work for me. It's taken me a year to figure out what that system is, but I found something that's going to work for me, and we'll talk about that more next week. Okay. But yes, if you want to check the comment section up higher, there is a link to his video, which was the first thing when I first heard about bullet journaling that I watched. So there's that. But thank you for joining us today for this bi-monthly goals video. For those who are just joining us or new to my channel, my name is Skye. I write urban fantasy under the name SD Haggis. And until recently, I usually post tag videos every other Tuesday and writing videos every Thursday. And then I do my live streams on Sunday. But until I figure out how iMovie works or get a different video editing software on this computer, my weekly videos that I usually do, my tag videos and my weekly videos are going to be postponed until I learn that program or get a new program on here. So my kid's over here doing math on her own. That's interesting. So the only thing that's going to happen right now are live streams until I get all that stuff figured out. But that's one of my goals for January, February is to get that stuff figured out. So hopefully videos will be returning soon. I was hoping they'd return in January, but it might be mid-February, beginning of March before they'd return. We'll see. I have lots of videos ready. I just need to edit them and upload them. I'll get there eventually. Eventually.
On the plus side, though, once you figure it out, you're going to be way ahead of the curve.
Yep.
You've got so many built up that you're going to be way ahead.
I do, but some of them are not going to be viable anymore because they are information that's going to change anyways. So there's that too.
We're going to go with ahead of the curve and sum it up there.
We'll go. Yeah, totally. I'll have like 8 videos that I can post. Boom, boom, boom. Done. Yeah. All right. But that's all we have for you guys today. So until next week, join us at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central. I'm sorry, those are the only 2 times I'm translating for those people in other parts of the world. Sorry, I'm a bad person, I know. But we will talk to you guys next week, I guess. Okay? Bye.
Bye.